So happy Tuesday, everyone, after the bank holiday. I know that it's been a bit of a struggle today. I just wanted to talk about something that I'm currently working through at the moment, and I think it's quite useful. So I'd recently kind of come across in kind of some self-help that I've been reading recently about this concept of like, do you always have to make everything a fight? And it really resonated with me because I'm an incredibly strong person and I'm usually praised for that. And it's usually kind of my go-to to just keep plodding on with something. And particularly this year, that's something I've done a lot. I've just kept going. I've just not stopped and thought about anything. And you sometimes kind of wear that like a badge of honour. And so when I came across this kind of podcast that was talking about the concept of like, why do you have to keep fighting things all the time? Why is everything a fight? It really kind of stuck with me. And like today was a perfect example of when the universe wants to test you. And when you think everything today is testing me. So I'll give you an example of my day today, just to give you some context. So I got up for a 7 a.m. train to come to Slough, which is 3.5 hours away. When I got on my train to London Euston, it was delayed by 20 minutes. I previously told the barrister from last week that I would get there for 10:30, and then it looked like I was going to get there for 11:30. So I was frantically messaging her to tell her I'd be late. Then I had an impending admin deadline that had to be done today. So I was trying to find a area to put my laptop in before it died while I was doing edits on this train. Then I managed to rush around London through the tubes, give updates via email where I was to the barrister. I then arrived at Slough and it was absolutely pissing it down. So, you know, the hair has really dried into that horrible meh from earlier because I haven't had a shower yet. So just ignore this. Yeah, raced to the court, nearly fell over about 3 times because I was wearing black boots and the floor was very slick. Had to take my suitcase through security, which is an ordeal in and of itself. So we went into court. Then I came out on my lunch break and I still had this report admin to do. So I wanted to do that over lunch. And then the barrister was explaining that we needed to spend lunchtime going over some things that we needed to talk to with the service user I was supporting. So I had about 10 minutes to race across the road to Tesco's, get a meal deal, come back, work through my lunch, then come back at the end of court, check in, finish my work, which I've literally just finished and submitted. And yeah, like there was lots of points in the day where I could have just been pissed off because the world was not helping me out. But the concept I'm trying to get to is that when you stop fighting and you stop allowing the stress and the anxiety of the next step to ruin the current moment that you're in, you kind of weirdly give yourself more of a boost to keep going. Some days are like today. You don't get a break. You know, the universe is pushing you. But when I was on the tube and when I was travelling to Slough, I just said to myself, this is out of my control and there's no point being pissed off about it. I've done everything in my control. I've communicated that I'm going to be late. I'm doing what I need to do. But I made time to just slow down a bit. Cheesy as it sounds, sometimes just taking a few deep breaths and just letting this stuff happen and not having to fight the universe against it every time. And it really changes your mindset because I hadn't realised that I kind of sometimes create this victim complex mindset, and not in the sense as like, woe is me, but in the sense like, for God's sake, everything is out to get me and I just have to you know, like I have to just fight through it. And actually, the universe isn't out to get you. You've just had a few things that have not gone your way. But the more that you blow those small things up, the more likely small annoying things are going to continue to happen in your day. But when you say to yourself, oh, that happened, cool, whatever, next, I've got to go on and do something else, I'm not going to dwell on it, then you kind of take the power back, and it doesn't have to ruin your entire day. And like now I'm sat here, I've finished what I needed to do, and I just feel like really good because I was determined today to not let the day get the better of me, and I feel like I've achieved that. And some days are harder than others to do that, do not get me wrong, and if you're extremely exhausted it can be very difficult. But I think when you rephrase the voice in your head that says the world is out to get me today and say, actually it isn't, I want to take the control back and say, I'm taking control of the day, I'm taking control of the universe, and I'm not letting it sour my day. Laugh it off. If you fell on your ass in the rain, luckily I didn't, but if you did, what can you do? Just laugh and just hope that you don't need to go to the doctors. But, you know, if you're stuck in a queue, you're stuck in a queue. Sometimes getting so pissed off in that line in the queue means that you're wasting your own precious time, minutes, hours being anxious, pissed off, but anticipatory emotions that you don't know how it's even going to pan out yet. So why waste the energy being pre-pissed off? So I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it's really helped me today, and it's a muscle that I'm really wanting to practice stretching, because if I can, in my own brain, control my day, then I have no excuse for this the world is out to get me or the world is really difficult today energy, because I can use my own mind to say, actually, that's not really true, is it? Actually, you're just feeding yourself a load of shit that's not true. So I don't know, maybe this might be helpful for you, but it was helpful for me today. So if this resonates with you, I hope that you found this ramble useful to some degree, and I hope that you can use it to make your week just a little bit less aggy. So good luck.